Hi guys, we're on Unit 3, Day 10 today, and this is the last day of the unit, and we have a warm-up, and it says, which of the following would be an equation for the inverse? And we just learned inverse a couple days ago, and remember, inverse is our keyword, and that tells us our very first step to swap x and y, and this is an equation, so after we swap x and y, we're going to go ahead and put it back in y equals form, or what they call solve for y. Okay, so here we go. So remember what we do. It's like waving a magical wand. We're going to turn the letters into different letters. So that y is actually going to become an x equals instead of a y equals. You keep the 4, but that x is going to become a y, and we're a -2, close them up, and -6. Okay. Our job is to put this back into y equals form, but our problem is we got some parentheses in there, so we're going to have to distribute. So we're going to say x equals 4 times y is 4y. 4 times -2 is -8. And then we have -6. Okay? Clean that up. So we got x equals 4y minus 14. Okay. All right. So if we highlight where y is, you guys can see that he is not by himself. He has a 4 with him and a -14 with him. And we're going to go ahead and remove or move our -14 first so that y becomes a little bit more by himself. Okay. So we're going to add 14. Add 14. Those are going to go. And on this side, we're going to get x plus 14 is equal to a 4y. One last step, we're going to go ahead and divide everybody by 4. And what was going to happen is we're left with y equals. And remember that there's technically a 1 in front of this x. And so that makes the fraction 1/4 x. And then we can leave that as 14/4. Okay? Or you can change it to a decimal if the decimal is nice. Okay. All right. And then we look at all our choices. And all of our choices, none of them look like that. However, each one has parentheses. And so without the distributing, we can go ahead and try to figure out our choice. In fact, I think I already see it. Okay. But as soon as I distribute here, does everybody see how that would give you 1/4 x? And that is exactly what I have right here. Okay. If I were to distribute here, this is -1/4 x. We need a positive 1/4 x. Okay, so I don't think that that's that one. Okay, and this is going to give me a -4x. Okay, sorry. And then if we distribute here, this is a -4x. So I think I have my choice picked. It's choice 1. But before I pick it, I want to make sure that I can get that equation into the same form as my answer is over here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the distributing. So that was 1/4 x, and then that's going to be 6/4, which is the same thing as 3/2 or 1.5. Either one, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 on over. And that's will cancel, and we're left with y equals 1/4 x. And if you can type it in your calculator if you want, or you can think about this as being 1.5 plus 2 is going to be 3.5. Okay, and so that's what that equation is in y equals form. Now, does it match my equation over here that's in y equals form? Yes, they both have 1/4 x, and this is 14/4. And you can use your calculator to check it too, but 14/4, if you divide this guy by 2, that becomes a 7, and you divide this guy by 2, that becomes a 2. And 7/2 is the same thing as 3.5. Okay, and so those are equivalent. They're just one's a fraction and one is a decimal. And so now I am confident that it is choice 1. Okay, so again, remember inverse, swap x and y, solve for y. Okay, all right, I will see you guys on day 10 notes.